Hey everybody, ModelMan here with the Jupiter 2. I've got the freezer tubes temporarily wired up into the power. I've got a negative lead firmly soldered into the main box, and then I've got this red wire here. This is just sticking in with the clips right there. However, what it will be doing ultimately is getting its own line down through a leg into its own power switch, so they aren't on all the time. They can be turned on or off. This batch of lights here is that sequencer from the previous videos, the one where one LED was coming on for like 3 or 4 lengths of time and then alternating with the one immediately after it. Yeah, it's not doing that anymore. Part of the problem is my fault. For example, there's a dark spot right there, and that's because I broke the lead, the trace on the board. I tried to follow it. Here, let me show you where that trace is actually. So, right there below my fingernail. Yep, that one. You can see how broken it is. So, I followed that trace all the way back to the appropriate pin on the board and soldered the LED line directly to that, but to no effect, oddly enough. And that those two LEDs come on simultaneously, and they stay on slightly longer than this LED and this LED. I'm not seeing anything cross-wired or anything like that. However, this is pretty much, I'm not taking this out of here. I'm rolling with what we got, and what we got ain't so bad. And what it does amount to is having 3 LEDs, and what it does amount to is 3 yellow LEDs, and I'll be able to feed another LED. I've got 5 yellow LEDs total, maybe 6 at most. Otherwise I have an amber, which is much more gold. So this guy is amber, that guy is yellow. A little bit of difference on camera, but not much. In person, that's definitely a golden amber, and that is definitely much more of a soft yellow. So, I got a little wiring to do, but the thing that's holding me up right now are these guys here. It's the computer consoles with all their fiber optics. All the fiber optics, which have to be fed down through this trench here and then set up here. Once I know the length of these fibers there, then I'll be able to position the LEDs where they need to go for maximum effect, and I'm hoping that this fiber optic here is going to be long enough. The longer strands also happen to be thicker, and those are the bottom row of colors as pointed out in the paint, as pointed out in the lighting reference in the previous video, or at least a previous video. So these are pretty much primed. I'm glad I spent as much time on them as I did. I probably did like 3 or 4 hours just sanding these down and getting them to be as good as they are at this point. They're not quite perfect, but they're darn good. So once these cure in a few hours, maybe I'll give it 24 hours before I start spraying the anthracite, and those will be ready to install here. Until then, what else can I do? Well, there's another sequencer board that I can put somewhere. I was going to put it right here actually, hidden in plain sight. However, what I might do is, since there's enough room on the bottom, I might just throw it down here. Possibly here, angled in there, or there's actually a ton of room right here. Well, a fair amount of room. Well, there's some room. Well, I just might be able to fit it. We'll see. And 12 hours later. This one, under certain light, still has the slightest suggestion of a ridge towards the top. I may shoot it once more. It may be that I can sand it down at this point, because there's probably 5 or 6 layers of primer on there. The last one going on just a few minutes ago. And this guy just had a shot along that edge there. You can kind of see a dent up at the top left corner. If I put this in the far window, you never see that side, in which case you're looking at this side. And that's looking fairly good. There's almost a suggestion of a dent right on the bottom right corner. Back is looking pretty nice, as is the top. Back is good. The side has that dent there. No problems there. Oh, wait a second. Suggestion of a bump on the bottom left corner there. And the top is looking pretty good. So this one actually has to go on the far side, simply because of that dent and the side rail of the front is kind of sanded away. I've done so much sanding on that side overall so far. So they're getting close. They're getting very, very close. Yeah, I'll do one more shot on this right now. And over on this side, there's not a lot I could do. I could certainly wire in the yellow LEDs. So that'll take a few minutes, and I can wire up the blue LED as well and get that going. And there's also some video I have to shoot about some strange things that are going on with the sequencer overall. It's exactly as it was when it was working before, but now it lights up in a totally different way. But I can work with it.